Somehow, despite still not really knowing what's going on, we find ourselves in a really commanding position going into the second leg of the Eastern Conference Play-Off Semi-Finals. I think all those words were right and in the right order. Today could either be us coming back down to earth with a thump the way we probably should, or this remarkable story could continue and we could find ourselves taking that step closer to the MLS Cup, which would be just stupid. Hello and welcome to part 5 of the MLS leg of the Expedition of Gold. I'm Kev. Coming up on today's episode, we are in the second leg of the Eastern Conference semi-final away to New York City FC. We beat them 3-0 in the first leg after absolutely scraping past Philadelphia Union on penalties in the wild card and scraping into the wild card in the first place with a last minute change of tactic. We don't deserve to be where we are, but somehow here we are. And as long as we don't lose by more than 3 goals today, we find ourselves in the Eastern Conference Playoff Final and 1 game away, I think, might be 2, from the MLS Cup Final, and a ridiculous fairy tale story that I'm guessing isn't going to happen, but we'll see. This is the team that we're going to be using. This is the team we've been using for the last 4 games when suddenly we realised we weren't as bad as we thought we were. We're doing a 4-3-3. Kev does tactics, etc, etc, etc. And we've got Mikuchi in goal. A back four of Brooks, Illich, Clementino and Pope. Mateus sits in front of them with Hernandez and McCrecky as the midfield, and then Vasey, Babbitt and Hidalgo are our front 3. David Babbitt got a hat-trick in the first leg of the semi-final. Wow, we're actually favourites for the game all of a sudden. New York were strong favourites for the first leg at our place, a 3-0 win in that first leg, and we're now ignoring league positions when New York finished 20 points ahead of us in the Eastern Conference, and all of a sudden they're looking at it based, I don't like being the favourites, I like being the plucky underdogs. Being a favourite for anything with a team this poor is terrifying, but I don't know if away goals exist in North America. I guess it'd be nice to find out. So let's grab a goal from Hidalgo. He just crosses in and there's no one there. Babbitt was lurking, but it was a fairly poor cross. And I don't know whether we've done the right thing tactically today. We've gone with what we know. We've gone control and flexible, which seems mad when we're away from home in a major semi-final defending a 3-goal lead. You would think going and doing defensive would make a lot more sense. I just don't think we're capable of doing it. Our defenders are poor, like really poor, to the point where we don't really have any fullbacks. And I don't really want to invite New York to attack them the whole time. New York have got to attack us. So if we stay on control, there's surely going to be space for us to exploit around these areas. Look, they've got 4 forwards on the pitch, basically. Yes, it's going to be a busy day for our defenders, but they're not going to be any better if we tell them, oh yeah, actually, you're still going to be busy, but have a defensive mentality while you do it. Babbitt has made it 1-0, 4-0 on aggregate. That's his 4th goal of the tie. And David Babbitt wants to win the MLS Cup, apparently. I just don't understand what's going on. I really can't get my head around it. Babbitt has come from nowhere. If he'd have been in this kind of form throughout, I mean, yeah, we were playing him up front with somebody else, but we were doing the 4-3-1-2 for so long. Babbitt was in the team the whole time and was not like this. Right, we have finally conceded a goal on this tie, and I hope that isn't the floodgates opening as we realise we're not impenetrable. We rode our luck a little bit in that first leg. 3-0 definitely flattered us. And let's not forget New York are much better than we are. So we need to be a little bit wary. Again, thoughts of tactical tweaks are running through my head and I'm trying to block them out because I just don't see how they're going to be of any benefit to us. I know what we're supposed to do, but I just don't think it'll work. And I can feel the abuse from the comments when it all goes wrong. Mateus, I tell you what, he is a brilliant defensive midfield player. Babbitt's in again and has scored again. 5th goal of the tie from Babbitt. I don't know who's most responsible for this performance, Babbitt or Mateus, because Babbitt is scoring goals for fun against New York City. However, Mateus, the amount of crunching tackles and last-ditch tackles, the amount of protection he's offering our terrible back four in this game is I mean, it's a proper difference maker. And now Hernandez is going off injured, and our paper-thin squad starts to become a bit of an issue because that's our only other player we can play. Central midfielders just come on now. Plula can play there, just not very well. And if we get any more knocks to the centre of midfield, we run out of midfield, and we'll have no choice but to start playing extra wingers or change the tactic completely. I mean, we could probably go to a 4-4-2, bring on an extra striker, but is that then going to break Babbitt? It doesn't bear thinking about. Let's just keep everybody fit. Right. If we can go into half-time 2-1 up, that surely we have to start thinking that we've got this job done. As dangerous as that is, never think you've got the job done. Pope with a good interception for a terrible right back, and Babbitt almost in again, but couldn't quite get onto the lumped ball forward. And New York are really coming at us now. But Plula intercepts. Hidalgo has space, and that's just a terrible miss. Oh, if we were any good, we'd be destroying them. Our tactics are spot on. We are exploiting that space that they're leaving behind as they have to push on into this game. The problem is we don't have much in the way of finishing touch. Unless the chance falls to Babbitt, we're missing because no one else can shoot. Right, they've got a free kick on the edge of the area, and luckily it goes flying over the crossbar. Let's just take a breather, lads. Calm it down. We don't need to rush. I don't think we can put waste time on while still trying to control the game, can we? Because we still need to keep them under pressure a little bit. We don't want them to think they can just camp out in our half and exploit our dodgy and old defenders. But 25 minutes to go with a 4-goal lead. We've got to start thinking there's an MLS Cup. Not an MLS Cup final. No, it's an Eastern Conference Play-Off final in our future. That's what we're thinking. Chacon, who was called up to the Canada national team for now. He's supposed to be away on international duty right now. But Kev, always thinking, always planning ahead. We withdrew him from the Canada squad, and he can now sit on our bench for our continued playoff run. And Clementino, we're not going to take him off. That's stupid. He's our captain. McCrecky we can't take off. Hidalgo we shouldn't take off. We'll just do our normal substitution then, because it's the only one we've got, really. Because we don't have any other players. Right, let's just hold on now, gentlemen. Come on now. 4 minutes. They're not going to score 4 goals in 4 minutes, are they? They're going to try, but they're going to fail. Please. They are getting a lot of the ball. I mean, it's still quite patient build-up from them. It's weird that they're not just really going for it. Unless I've misunderstood how the playoffs work. Because they don't seem desperate to score. That's an amazing save from Mikuchi. He has made... I moan about us not being very good, but there are a handful of players who are playing so far above their ability level. I don't know why. Is that a manager reputation thing? Is that because I've come in with all these Champions League and international tournament wins? Is that a difference maker? Is that making players play above themselves? Is that a thing? Because otherwise I just don't get what's going on. We've made it through to the Eastern Conference final. Hernandez, is he properly in? Oh, wow. Hernandez is done. We're probably never going to see him again. And do we know who we're playing and when we're playing them? It'll be DC. Oh, so that's a 2-legger as well. So DC United or Chicago over 2 legs. So we'll just do the first leg, and then the second leg will be tomorrow, hopefully with an MLS Cup final. Goodness me, that's a long wait between the semi-final and the final. It's been like nearly 3 weeks. We played an international game. Everyone's fully fit. It's been marvellous stuff. Well, I say everyone's fully fit, apart from all the injured players, obviously. So Plula comes into the team at the expense of Hernandez, who got injured in that last game. Other than that, it is the same team because it's the only team we're capable of putting out there. We're playing against our big rivals, Chicago Fire. Hold on, let's come off of England. Who, if you remember, we did beat... on the last game of the regular season. They were top of our conference. We beat them 1-0 away. We've got a chance. We're in incredible form all of a sudden. It's the best form we've managed to put together at any point. This club hasn't had this kind of form this season. And amazingly, again, we're favourites, just like we were in that second leg against New York. And we just have to... Oh, it'd be awesome. They're playing a flat back 6, everybody. They're afraid of us. Come on, lads. Let's get 1 foot in that MLS Cup final, because that would be quite remarkable if we managed to do this. I'm I'm not as afraid as I was in the last couple of games, which is a problem. We were feeding off the fear, whereas now there's a little bit of excitement starting to creep in, and I need to make sure I don't get too excited. We need to stay afraid. We need to remember we're not very good. These other teams are much better than us. Mateus, by the way, that was a lovely little bit of skill. We had to have a little sit-down, heart-to-heart chat with him in the little gap that we had. He's homesick. I've promised we're going to let him go back to Brazil at the end of the season. I couldn't afford upsetting him. So despite him being one of the superstars of this playoff run, he is 32. He's replaceable. He doesn't want to be here. He's one of our designated players. It's a slot we could do with freeing up, and he wants to go. So Mateus is going to be going as soon as the playoffs are done because he wants to. So hopefully he'll finish off with a flourish of awesomeness and want to take an MLS Cup winners medal with him. And look at that. He is everywhere on this pitch. He's having another good game. Hopefully it will continue, because I am worried about the defence that he's being tasked with protecting, and we're 1-0 down, and this was the fear that Chicago were just going easy on us on that last game of the season. They'd already won the conference. They didn't need to worry about anything. They might have even just been nice and friendly. Oh, you're our rivals. We'd like to play you again in the playoffs, so let's let you in. Let's make it all a little bit more interesting, ticket sales and all that. Or it could have just been, we don't need to worry. We're not going to try hard. We're already through. Let's not. Who cares? And we were there giving it everything we had, and only managed a 1-0. But let's not think like that. Let's find a way through. Brooks with a cross. It doesn't make it past the first man. And this is the first time in this playoff run where we've had to come from behind in a game. So it's going to be a proper test of our mental strength. And they've hit the post again, and this is getting scary. Because remember, this is the home leg as well. We've got to go back to their place after this, where we have had recent success. But remember, it was probably against an unmotivated reserve team, and that's a good save for Mikuchi. And I really feel like we need a goal by half-time just to settle ourselves, to settle me down more than anything. Don't know about the rest of the lads. I need to settle down. I've suddenly gone from, it was just our first season, who really cares, over the course of like an hour and a half recording these last 2 or 3 videos back-to-back, of thinking, we could do this, I'm going to look like a genius. I made a tactical change, and now we're going to win something without using a 4-3-1-2. Oh, Kev's a genius. And now it's all falling apart. Should never sit there thinking about myself being a genius in the third person. It doesn't ever end well. What do we do now? That Babbitt's not turned up. Brooks, again, is not very good, and it's a problem we have every game. We make this substitution. Why don't I just start Wade? Right, we're going to bring Warapong Sukasem on and see if he's the man to go and grab us an equaliser. We haven't seen him for ages. Since we've gone to one striker, he's been completely absent because we've not needed him because Babbitt's been playing so well. Babbitt has decided not to play so well anymore, and now we need Sukasem to do something. I mean, if we can grab an equaliser in these last 10 minutes, we go into that second leg in the next episode, and I'm not as afraid. At the moment, I'm quite afraid. We'll bring Chachon on. I don't even know how you would say that. I don't know what the accent over the sea means. Right, Plula's in and forces a good save out of their keeper. We've got a chance to get the cross in again. That's McCrecky with a little bit of space. Mateus out to Pope. Pope tries to tuck it back to, I don't even know who that is. Who's the number 16? Plula. And it just didn't make it past the first man. And that's becoming a little bit of a theme in what we're doing. We're struggling to get any end product off of our crosses. It's been a fairly even game on everything other than the fact that Chicago converted one of their chances, we didn't. And if they score again here, that is a little bit dirty because it's been a fairly even game. And it will just be their betterness than us that gets them that extra goal. 1-0 going into the second leg won't be a disaster. It's comebackable. I realise I'm making up a lot of words right now, but it's the pressure it's getting to me. And cliche bingo time. That's left us with it all to do in this second leg, and that second leg will take place on tomorrow's episode. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you pop a like on there for me. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more, and thank you very much for watching.